Hi there, welcome to the battlegrounds of the Russian Revolution. Here I will be your tour guide, and we will travel through these grounds and discover the story of the years that changed Russia's fate forever. In Russia, the serfs and peasants were treated very poorly, forced to work under harsh conditions and for very long hours of the day, with little food and low wage. It was very hard for them to take care of their family, and the autocracy did nothing. The autocracy was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II and his wife, the Tsarina Alexandria. Their child became very sick, and a man named Rasputin wanted to use his magical religious ways to heal their child.
I heard you can heal my son.
Yes, of course, Your Majesty.
I will grant you one wish, whatever you desire.
Interesting. I shall want the throne.
All right.
Rasputin used his magical religious ways to successfully heal Alexandria's sick child.
We had a deal.
I agree.
What the heck?
Finally, the power is mine.
And with that, Rasputin won the throne. Soon, everyone in Russia knew what the Tsarina did and how Rasputin won the throne, and many of them were not happy. One fateful night, Rasputin was assassinated in his bed, and the crown was stolen. It was interesting that Rasputin took over the throne from Tsar Nicholas II, but then again, it didn't last for long because the people overtook the autocracy and created their democracy, which was challenged in the wars coming ahead. Soon after, they fought in the Russo-Japanese War, which was a dispute over territory. Russia lost so many soldiers and civilians, it had a dreadful impact on their economy. In a last-ditch attempt to help save their economy, Tsar Nicholas II signed an alliance called the Triple Entente with Great Britain and France. They promised to help each other, but this was not enough to help Russia after the Russo-Japanese War. The people were still very dissatisfied, and they needed more. So Tsar Nicholas II had an idea.
I'm creating this Duma in order to satisfy the people of Russia.
However, the Duma was not enough. The peasants did not live very good lives. They were cramped in small houses and constantly died of starvation due to lack of food.
Mommy, I need more.
Here you go, sweetie.
Thank you.
We want bread! We want bread! We want bread! We want bread!
They're protesting. What do we do?
Fire at will!
Thousands died on this day, and it soon became known as Bloody Sunday. While the revolution was going on back home, World War I was happening on the Eastern Front, where thousands of Russians fell before the more industrialized Germany. Because of this much loss, Russia had to get out of the Triple Entente, which made France and Britain very upset. In March 1917, the Duma took power back from the autocracy in Tsar Nicholas II, but the people were unsatisfied with the Duma, so instead they decided to make a provisional government. The provisional government acted like a democracy and had many democratic ways. It was led by Alexander Kerensky. Not long after the provisional government was made, World War I ended and Russia was forced to sign the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk as punishment for them dropping out of the Triple Entente in the middle of the war. This made them lose much of their territory and initiated the pogroms, which was the persecution of Jews in many countries such as Ukraine. Thousands of Jews died and were forced out of their homes. It was At this point, Russia was getting very confused because they could not decide which government they wanted, autocracy or democracy. But thanks to Lenin and then after Stalin, they created a government that worked best for Russia and helped it prosper and become one of the most powerful entities in all of Europe. The provisional government didn't last long. In November 1917, a socialist named Vladimir Lenin overthrew Kerensky and the provisional government. Once the provisional government was dead, they called themselves the Socialist Bolsheviks. The Red Bolsheviks were a socialist party, but many liberals opposed this social party and had a conflict with them. The Soviet Whites were led by Lenin Trotsky, as the Bolshevik Reds were led by Lenin. They began fighting in the Red and White Civil War, but the Bolsheviks were always the stronger. It was a long and awful war. Many of the parties used scare tactics such as the Cheka to steal citizens away and induce their nighttime fright. The Whites had a civil war of their own.
Finally over, so we can return to our perfect democracy.
Democracy? We need the control of an autocracy. What are you talking about?
The democracy helps control the food for the people, so we live better.
The autocracy helps keep everyone in line. We need peace, not a bunch of idiots running a nation.
But democracy can prevent another revolution because we have the proper representation of the peasants.
Peasants don't need representation.
It's not an autocracy.
It will have peace under an autocracy.
You're just wrong.
The Red
Peasants,
Bolsheviks
I
used war
need your
communism
money.
to help fund for their war.
Industries, I need you. Transportation, you're mine.
All efforts of the Soviets were futile because the Bolsheviks still won and initiated their socialist party and also created the Soviet Union.
Russia, I, Lenin, now decree the new economic policy. There you go.
Yes, we have control! Yes! What is happening? Oh no, he's dead! The communists! Lenin's new economic policy led to his death, but soon after, Stalin was able to rise and take power. So there you have it. That's the story of the Russian Revolution, where thousands died just to create their peace, and when so many governments tried to control everything, but it just didn't work. And eventually the powerful people came and they fixed Russia and created it to be what it is now. But we still cannot forget those who died, those who lost their homes just to create this country. And we have to take it in consideration of all the other countries that have gone through this just to be able to find peace. Let's just be grateful for what we have today and the peace that we made, and the peace that may remain.